In this tutorial, you'll learn how to add or modify suppliers in the suppliers page. The suppliers page groups together all the information on project stakeholders, internal resources, contractors, professionals, and any other suppliers. A list of these stakeholders, which I refer to as suppliers in this video, is imported into ID at implementation. Throughout your use of ID, you may need to update this list of suppliers and their contacts. Suppliers are important in ID as they are involved in a number of project management business processes, such as purchase orders, payment requests, invoices, and many others. In addition, all ID users are associated with a supplier as the supplier's contact. Another important point is that in ID, your organization is also registered in the suppliers page, and all your organization's employees who have access to ID are your organization's contacts. They can then be added as project contacts as needed. Without further ado, let's take a look at how you can add suppliers to ID. In ID, from the Initialize menu, select Suppliers. You will now see a list of all suppliers already registered in ID. To view the details of an existing supplier, double-click on the line. We'll come back to the details in a moment. Let's start by creating a new supplier. Click on the Create button and start by entering the company code. This field is mandatory, so you must create a code for each supplier if you don't already have one. Then enter the company name and the contact information if you wish, street, city, state, province, phone, email. These fields are not mandatory. Then select the supplier type. So you have the choice between supplier, consortium, or client. The supplier represents a company that is a supplier to your organization. The consortium represents a company at the head of a consortium to which other suppliers can be linked and which is a supplier to your organization. The client represents a company that is a customer of your organization. So I'll go with supplier for now. Then click on the Save and Open button or its alternative to save. So we're in the details page of the supplier. The first sections contain basic information and contact details like coordinates, which you can update as required. You can also enter the license number if required. In the contact section, you can add supplier contacts by clicking on Create Contact button. Remember that all ID users within your organization must be contacts within your organization, as we saw in the video about user creation for those with an administrator role. When you create a user account, you must associate a supplier. The new user is then automatically added to the supplier's contact section. On the other hand, supplier contact may not be an ID user if they have never been assigned a user account. So to create a contact, first enter the contact's email address. And remember that if there's no user existing with the same email address, this contact will not have access to ID. It will only be a supplier's contact, no more. Then enter the contact's first name and last name. The functions here represents the contact's job title with their employee, but this is not a mandatory field, so we can leave it empty. Phone number fields are not mandatory either, and you can decide whether or not the contact should be added to all new projects that are created as project contact. You can either select never or all. So if you select never, the contact may be added manually to a project where their collaboration is required. And if you select all new projects, the person will be designated as a contact on all new projects created, but it will still be possible to remove this project contact from the list manually. So we click Save. Once all the contacts have been created, you can edit the contact information either by double-clicking on the line or by selecting Edit in the three-dot menu. It's also possible to delete a contact from this menu. This concludes this video about suppliers. I invite you to consult the suppliers and contact article on our wiki site for more details.